20, 30 yards away was this thing peeking over this pine bush.
It was a large, hairy animal, dark brown, black hair.
All of a sudden, this creature let out I want to call it a blood-curdling, growling, howling scream.
That's when I realized it wasn't my friend that had snuck up on me.
Dude, all the branches that are broken off are red.
That's crazy. There's no medulla.
Boy, the bugs are crazy tonight. But here I am on Tunnel Drive, just outside of Canyon City, Colorado. And this is where our next encounter story happened. Now, our witness did not want her name given nor her face shown on video. So I did an audio interview at a local restaurant. There's a little bit of background noise, and so please put up with that as we watch the video. But I came down here to show you some context, video context of what the area looks like, so you could get a sense of what happened to this woman when she was on a double date with a girlfriend of hers, and their encounter with a Sasquatch at the end of Tunnel Drive in 1967. I hope you enjoyed her testimonial.
I've determined it was the summer of 1967. It was a summer night, and it wasn't a full moon, it was very close to a full moon, very bright. And I was double dating, and the four of us went up on Tunnel Drive to do some necking.
Now this is back when you could drive on Tunnel Drive.
Yes.
And at the end there was a big parking lot.
Yeah, where you could park, and there was plenty of room to turn around and then go back, because, you know, it was just one way. Those caves through the tunnels through the tunnel, the mountains would accommodate one car at a time. Same with the bridge. You could easily get 10 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big parking lot, but it was secluded enough, and at that time there was no other cars in the parking lot. The big thing was to stop in the middle of the tunnel and honk your horn. It echoed so much.
Absolutely. Now, do you know, was this tunnel built just to give the convicts something to do?
No, it was to have maintenance for their water supply to the Canyon City.
Okay, so I'm thinking about Skyline Drive. That was built for just to give them something to do, I think.
I think that was just a scenic drive. And the guys said they needed to go relieve themselves. So they left the car, and it was just me and the other girl in the car. And
Before I'm going to ask you a question,
yeah.
How old are you at this point?
I would have been 15.
15.
Yeah, I would have been 15.
And the attitude of the car is facing towards the mountain?
Yes.
And the back end of the car is pointing towards the river?
Towards the river, yes.
And it's at the parking lot, and so right behind the car is a railroad track, and it's right down there, and you're on the river.
Yep.
As I'm looking up here, you know, there's looks like caves and crevices and all sorts of stuff up there.
Yep. So we're sitting there, just girl talk, you know, and I see something coming towards the car from the front of the car, from the mountainside, headed towards the car, just walking towards the car. And I said to her something to the effect, look, the guys are trying to scare us. They looked like they had a white fur coat, and they were trying to scare us. And as it got closer, it got bigger and bigger. And I said, wait a minute. They left and exited the car and went towards the back of the car. This is coming towards the front of the car, and they haven't had time to circle around, and we would have seen them anyway. And as it got closer, it leaned down to put its head in the corner of the passenger side windshield to look in at us, like you would or anybody would. Put your hands on there and look in. And by that time, the other girl was in hysterics. I wasn't too far behind her, and she wedged herself underneath the dashboard on the passenger side floorboard and just screaming her head off. And the guys had bought a 6-pack of beer, and I thought, well, I'm going to just scare it away. So I grabbed, the only thing I could find was a beer, and I tossed it out the car window because it was open, and it landed a little ways from the car, and this thing turned and went and picked it up and bit the top of the beer can open and drank it. And then it left and it crawled into the mountain where there was a big water pipe through the mountain. And it climbed up onto this pipe and disappeared into the mountain. And about that time, the guys had heard the girl screaming, me and her, and came back to the car and said, what's the matter, and we're like, get us out of here. We just saw something, and get us out of here. And I mean, the date was over. There was no partying after that. We came back to town and we went home.
Now, did you tell anybody about this story?
Not for a long time, no. No.
No parents, no friends?
Well, I'm 15. We've got beer in the car. I'm sure I'm going to tell my parents.
Sure.
No. You have kids,
Yeah.
No. We just didn't know what to think until it came right up on us. And I mean, we're just like from me to you, 2 or 3 feet apart from this guy's face, this Sasquatch's face.
So yeah, it's very thick down there. What do they call, probably willows and...
Well, it's probably kind of close to a wetland.
Yeah. It's just a turn, but, it's not all this desert, high desert stuff. Down at the river, hey, dummies. Now, okay, so as it's coming towards you, how tall do you think this thing was?
Well, this was an older car, probably like a, 57 Chevy or something like that, It was an older car, so it sat pretty well up. It wasn't a little compact. Mm-hmm. And he had to bend down to look in the window, in the windshield. The moon was behind it, so the face was in the shadows. I mean, yeah, when he got right down to us, you could see facial features that looked like the things you see on TV of Sasquatch or Yeti or whatever. But at the time it was coming towards us, the moon was behind this figure, and we couldn't see facial figures. That's why that's why we thought at first it was the guys trying to scare us. Well, everything was in proportion, and I would say it had to have been in excess of 7 feet. At bare minimum, it had to be in excess of 7 feet.
Okay.
But when it's like a quarter of a mile away from the car walking towards you, you don't put all that together.
Yeah. What about its teeth? Did you notice anything about its teeth?
Its
Did it have
mouth
canines? Did it?
Well, evidently, because it broke into that beer can.
Okay.
And that's back when they were steel.
Yeah.
And it bit right into the beer can and then drank it. Yeah, it was haired all over, with the exception of the palms of the hands.
Oh, really? So the palms did not have...
No, the palms did not have hair because I remember it putting its hands up on the window on either side of its face. And no hair on the palms, and it didn't, growl or show its teeth at all. It just kind of looked in. I do remember vividly that it put both hands on either side of its face, knelt down to look in the windshield. I know after it picked the beer up and bit into it and drank it. It just tipped it up and, drank it.
So,
the whole thing.
So it kind of knew what was going on with that can.
It had a beer before, but given the fact we were up there on Lover's Lane,
Sure. So that was the hot place for the kids to go hang out.
Yeah, it was one of them.
Now, okay, so it goes to the pipe, and we measured the pipe. It's about 3 foot diameter pipe. Mm-hmm. Did it stand on it, crawl over it? Did it step over it? Do you remember what happened?
As I recall, it was as if you were going to mount a horse.
Okay.
It threw a leg over, and then it was on top and into the mountain.
So did it lay on top of the pipe and into the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the last you saw of it?
Thank God. Yeah.
How did that change your life? How did that affect you?
Well, you know, if you tell somebody what happened, they think you're either crazy or you're a liar, or, you know, you got a few bricks shy of a load there. But it made me more skeptic of you know, I guess I shouldn't say skeptical. I was more open to other things maybe than before, because never had I even in my wildest dreams thought I would run into a Sasquatch, especially a white one, you know. I mean, I was totally unprepared for this event, totally.
I mean, that's a traumatizing event,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Had you heard of any other stories in Canyon? I mean, obviously there's ghost stories. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you go up, what is that, 4th Street?
Yeah, up to the
Street?
cemetery up
To the
there.
cemetery, and there's supposed to be floating lights and what have you up there. And you know, there's just...
There's ghost stories
odd,
all over the place,
yeah.
But
Like-
nothing like this. Nobody. It was never a rumor. It was never...
Nope. Never. I was totally caught off guard.
What did the boys think about this?
I think they thought we had lost our minds. But we were so emphatic about get us out of here that, you know, they didn't question that. I mean, we were both hysterical. She was way more hysterical than I was. I mean, you almost had to scrape her off with a spatula to get her out from under the dash. And there's not a lot of room underneath the dash of a car.
Yeah,
But she was wedged in there.
Well, thank you. Well, I won't use your name. So, but thank you very much for taking the time. And yeah, hopefully somebody else will come forward and be able to tell their story from Tunnel Drive or around here as well, because that's what these are all about.
Yeah.
You know, it opens the door and somebody else will go, okay, so I'm not crazy. I had this happen.
Well, and that's why I felt like, you know, with the guy with the bird on his trunk, I was thinking, wow, finally, there's somebody that can validate what I saw.
And I'm gonna chase that down too, and as best I can.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be